In July 2018, I received a plot in a local community garden. I knew almost nothing about gardening, but I was super excited to get my hands dirty. When I went to my plot for the first time, I saw a mess of overgrown weeds with only a few scattered traces of plants I wanted to keep. Excited to start immediately, I dug out everything that looked remotely weed-like. Feeling triumphant, I sent my family and friends photos of before and after, but much to my disappointment, I learned that I removed several plants that were actually flourishing despite their appearance. With care, these plants would have provided me with fresh produce. Since then, I've learned that many of the gardeners in the community have been there for years, quite a few with at least a decade of experience. If only I would have asked for their insight, I could have preserved those plants and doubled my harvest. This experience reminded me of the importance of local knowledge. A simple conversation or question could have provided me with more specific detail than a Google search. The community had personal relationships with the soil, the sun, and every other environmental factor that impacted their plot. In social work, we often encounter circumstances or communities where we don't know what's best, or have that insider knowledge. A consequence of professionalization is the common neglect of lived experience and the power of community. Unfortunately, neglecting these factors in social work practice can cause a lot more harm than ripping up a couple of tomato plants. A huge part of social work leadership is utilizing the strengths and knowledge of those around us. We limit the possible outcomes when we choose to work solely in our own capacity instead of involving others. By valuing local and insider experience, we create fundamental knowledge that academia can't teach.